My dear students, now question number 6. Find the square root of 196. Okay, you have to know this number is a perfect square or not. So you have to memorize the perfect squares from 1 to 20. Okay, so the perfect square of 196, it is equal 14. Okay, memorize it. So the answer here is 14. Let us remember why the 14, because 14 multiply 14 give 196. Okay, my dear students, the perfect square number, or yes, the perfect square number, okay, it is come from multiply number by itself, and this number this time it is 14. Now this is direct. Now there are some tricks, you have to learn them. Let me learn you some tricks that come in the test, like this one, the square root of 6,400. As you know, the 64, it is a perfect square, so it is equal 8. How many zeros I have here? Teacher, you have 2, so take only 1. So the answer is 80. Okay, my dear student? Okay, here. The same steps we have to use. As you see, the 25, it is a perfect square, and it is give 5. And we have 2 zeros here. We just take 1 0. So the answer is 50. Okay. What's about the decimal number? Teacher, I hate it. Me too, but you have to use to deal with it. So my dear student, in easy way, you have a square root of 3600. So you have one way or easy way to deal with it. First of all, as you see here, we have 36, and the 36 give what? 6. Okay, okay, and the 3600, this number, how many digits after the decimal? You have 2 digits, yes? So you need to write number here with 1 digit after the decimal number. So the answer will be 6/10. You don't believe me? See. 6/10 multiply 6/10 is equal 3600. Clearly it's equal. Why? Because if you multiply the decimal number in grade 4, 5 and 6, you just multiply the numbers, okay, you just multiply the numbers here. 6 by 6 equal 36, and you count the numbers after the decimal point, which is 1, 2 digits. So you need two digits after the decimal number in the product, so you set the decimal point here, so it is equal. Okay, so the answer is correct. So what is the procedure from the beginning? Okay, I don't like to confuse my students. So in this kind of the question, questions, how you deal it? If you find the perfect square in the decimal number, go and write the answer of this perfect square, which is 6. And if you have 2 digits, you need to set 1 digit after the decimal point, okay, which is the 6 in this case. Okay, so the answer is 6/10. Let us take another question. Okay, D. Here we have a fraction. Yes, 144 come from 12, and 225 come from I think 15. Yes. Okay, if you're not sure of this, come back to the table here. The 225 give 15, and 144 give 12. You can, if you have a multiple choice answers, you will not find this. You will find it in the simplest form. How you find it in the simplest form? As you see, the 12 and the 15 have a common factor, which is a 3. And 12 divided 3 give 4, and 15 divided 3 give 5. So you will find this answer. Okay, my dear student, be careful. Okay, let us move to the second one here. Okay, we have this one. Okay, see, we have number with zeros. As you see here, the 4, it is a perfect square, and the 4 give me 2, and we have 2 zeros here, so we take 1 0. The 16 is a perfect square, and the 16 give me 4, and I have 2 zeros here, I take 1 0 only. And if I write this fraction in the simplest form, we can easily cancel the 0 with the 0. Okay, and the 2 over 4, as you know, all of you, it is 1 over 2. Okay, by divide up by 2 and down by 2, which equal 1 over 2. Okay, my dear student, good. Let us take this one. Again, don't scare if you see a decimal. Okay, my dear student, don't scare. So I have 1 and 21 hundredths over 1. As you see here, if you go back to the time or the perfect square number, we have 121 here, and it is give 11. Come back here, it's give 11, and the 1 here, it's give 1. But let us come back to the 1 and 21 hundredths. I need 2 digits after the decimal, so I need 1 digit after the decimal here. So the decimal point sit between 1 and 1. So it will be 1.1, and this is equal 1.1. Let us go here. I have a decimal here. Again, don't scare. Deal with the 49 only. And the 49 give you what? 7. And set the decimal here and don't scare. So it is 7/10. Let me write it correctly. 0.7. Okay. So I deal with the perfect square. Okay. What's about the 900? Again, the 9 only. It is a perfect square. Give me 3, and take, the teacher said, take 1 0 from the 2 zeros inside the square root, which equal 30. So it is 7/10 over 30. Let us continue. If I have more question, good. I have more question. Here it is easy. 144 give me, come from 2. You solve it, yes? Okay, and this give me 15, and this give me 3 over 4. Doesn't matter. And here it is not 2, and don't deal with it as 2 and 0.56. Deal with it as 256, and the 256 come from where? Here. Come from here, my dear students. It is give what? 16, teacher. Go and write 16 here, and you almost done. But you have to give the last touch, which is the decimal point between the 1 and the 6. So the answer is 1.6 or 1 and 6/10. Okay, my dear student. Okay, my dear student. Okay, let us revise what we learned here, or summarize what we learned here in fast. Okay, teachers. Okay, my boy. First of all, if you have a square root with a number like 400, like this, you go and take the perfect square here, which is 4, and the 4, you know the square root of 4 gives 2, so the answer here is 2, and you just take 1 0 here, it will be 20. Okay, another example, 1600. You just deal with the 16, and before you know that the 16 give me 4, so here I have 4 and take 1 0 here, so the answer is 40. Okay, my dear student, now what's about, teacher, the decimal? The decimal, if you have like this, for example 1.44, you know that before the 144 it is give me 12, so the answer here, sorry, the answer here is 12, and the final touch, just set the decimal point here. Easy, yes? Another example, square root of 2.56. Okay, and you know before the 256 come from 16, 16, or come from 16 multiply 16, so directly write here 16 and put the final touch, the decimal point between the 1 and the 6. Okay, my dear student, okay, let me check. Yes, it is coming from 16. Now the second part of this lesson, it is estimation, and it is easy. For example, the square root of 19, the 19, it is not perfect square, you cannot find it here, you cannot find it here, don't try. But you know that the 19 words is come from between what and what? Yes, it is come here, the 19, the square root of 19, but it is near the 16 or near the 25, nearest 16 or nearest 25. As you see, it's nearest 16, so the answer here, it will be about 4. What about this number, 360? Go here and see the 360. As you know, it is not a perfect square, so you can find it, the location, it is between 324 and 361, the square root of 60. The 360, it is not perfect square. Okay, okay, and you know that you need double zero inside the square root to write it, as we learned before. Okay, teacher, the 360, it is close to 324 or more close to 361 or nearest 361. Yes, teacher, it is nearest this number, so the answer is about 19. Easy, yes? It's about 19. 200, it is not perfect square, but you can find it here. Where you can find it? You can find it between the 196. You can find it between the 196 and 225, but 200 is, it is nearest the 196, so the answer in easy word, it is about like this, the about, not equal, about 14. Yes, 14, 196. Now the last question here, don't scare, a square rug has an area. Don't joke with me. The area for any square, okay, it is the radicand. Yes, the radicand number. Or the square rug has an area of, okay, the square root of 45. What is the approximate side? So let me remind you something. You remember this, the radical, and you know the radicand, which is the perfect square here, it is equal for easiest. I told you before, this is Okay, sorry. Oops. Okay, the number inside here, the number inside, which is the radicand, it is area for n square, and the answer of the square root of 16 give the length of the square side. So it is the length of this side, it is equal 4. Okay, and the same thing here. Okay, but teacher, here in this equation, it is not a perfect square. Yes, it is not a perfect square. It is a 45. And where you can find the 45 here? Between what and what? Yes, teacher, it is between the perfect square 36 and the 49. Yes, here the location of the 45. So the square root of the 45, it is come between the perfect square or the square root of 36 and the square root of 49. But it is nearest 49, so it is about 7. So the answer here, the side of this square, it is about 7. Okay, one more question. Okay, he give you the area of this square root of 95. Okay, he give you, this is the area. What is the length of the square side? Directly you move and looking for this number between two perfect square. The first one is 100, and the lowest one, or the number or the perfect square that come down, which is come from 81. But as you see, the 95, it is close or nearest 100 more than the 81, so cancel this. And the length of the side, it is about 10. So the length of the square side in this question is about 10. Okay, my dear student, I hope you get all the benefit from this revision. Okay, and I hope you get the full mark, inshallah. And it is easy, just memorize this, just memorize this. Okay, just memorize this, those perfect square and from where they come from.